What's up, beautiful people? Padres take the series against the Snakes. A little bit of a letdown in the last game. They end up losing, but they do take 2 out of 3 against Arizona. And whenever you can take a series against a divisional rival, I will take it. Obviously, Padres win the series 2-3. We're going to go over the last 2 games because we went over the first game in the last video. Going to be looking at some amazing stuff from Luis Arraez, the new Padre. Looking at King cruising throughout the game. Waldron might be washed, boys. I think it's time to give up on him. At least I think it's time for me to just move on, try and find some other scenarios. We're going to look at down on the farm, see if there's maybe some prospects that may be able to be brought up, or there's some people that are in the bullpen right now that might have a shot, like Morejon and Estrada. We'll look at them a little bit, and then we'll look on forward to the series against the Cubs starting tomorrow, 3-game series in Chicago. Let's do this. I know I've said it for 20 plus years, but I got a feeling this is the year. God, Tatis is such a sexy guy. Keep the faith, baby.
1 year soon, the baseball gods will smile on the San Diego Padres, and we will have a parade.
Stay vibrant, Friar Faithful.
And now your handsome host, Beto Diaz on Friar Field Talk.
So jumping right back into it, Padres do end up taking the series. They do get belted in the last game of the series, but they do win 2 out of 3. We're going to be recapping Game 2 and Game 3 in the series against Arizona a little bit. A lot of good bright spots, a lot of really good things to see from our boys. Even in Game 3, there was a time where the game was kind of back and forth. We went down, but we managed to claw back. Obviously, in the end, when your starting pitcher allows 8 runs, 7 earned, there's not really much you can do to be competitive in the game. Obviously, we had scored early, and Merrill looked really good. We'll recap that here in a second. But first, before we do that, I want to go on to Game 2 of the series. All right. Obviously, this was the breakout game, the initial debut for Luis Arraez, who looked fantastic, just looked awesome, amazing. Went 4 for 6, arguably could have been 5 for 6, but he had his hardest hit ball, almost go figure, was an out, that 5th at bat. Just looked really good, was exuding really good energy. You can tell he's going to fit into our team really, really well. So fuck the prospects. I don't want to hear any prospect huggers. Y'all can go read a book. Go, I don't know, hug a tree. I don't know. But obviously, Game 2 was a really good game for our boys. We went 3-1. We jump out first in the very first inning. I do want to highlight Arraez before I go on to everybody else. Had a 4-hit day, obviously. He is...
Here comes.
Sorry, I hate the volume. He is the first Padre ever to have 4 hits in his MLB debut, and his debut with our team, you know? Jesus Christ, I can't talk. Yeah, 4-hit day for Arraez. His approach to the plate is just uncanny. He's such a pure hitter. I really expect him to keep doing this and even better throughout the season. Was really, really happy, you could tell, to be a Padre, put on the new jersey. Here's his first hit as a Padre. Roped down the right to the right side of the field. Gets it for a double. Takes it inside. He's chugging along. Not the fastest guy in the world, but obviously when you're roping a double into the corner, you don't have to run very much, right? So was really hyped here. His second hit here takes it to left field. Just, you can tell wherever the ball's at, he goes with it. He doesn't pull. He doesn't go exclusively to the left. He doesn't go to center. He just tells all parts of the diamond. Looked really, really good throughout the whole game. Was such a bright spot. It was a really cool, funny thing. He was like really fired up with the first base coach. Apparently, he has like a history with the coach in Miami where he would slap him on the chest and be like, I'd be all excited. And I don't know if Macias really knew what to expect, because he kind of seems like he catches them by surprise. I'll replay it here. Let's see. So he slaps him in the chest. He's like, "Oh shit!" The bench loves it. I love it. You love it. Really cool to see. Another one. This is the one at bat for me. Look at where this ball's at. Takes it the opposite way. God, a really, really, really great piece of hitting. Not even a strike, but he shortens up his swing, brings in the run. Looks really good. Doesn't try to do too much with the ball. So yeah, the fucking guy's not going to hit home runs, but he's going to give me a 330 batting average. But oh no, those prospects that might hurt us in 2050 when I'm a grandpa. Fuck the prospects. Fuck y'all for trying to be all, ooh, it's such a horrible trade. How you feel about this game? A lot of you were quiet on Twitter. I saw my Twitter feed on that game. Oh my God. I just saw nothing. But all the people that were talking good about it, they were having a great day. And all you little bitches that were complaining were silent. And I have a feeling you're going to be silent for a lot of the remainder of the year. Obviously, here's the last hit for Arias. Not even a strike again. Just loops into right field. A 4-hit day for Arias. First time ever a Padre has gotten 4 hits on his debut with the team. Looked really, really good. Smiles all around. And how could you not be happy when you're joining a team that scores 13 runs on your debut with them, you know? Gonna look at some other stuff. Some other really good. We'll look at box score really quickly. Obviously, Arias had the 4 hits. Cronenworth 2, Machado 2, Profar 3. Profar's OPS is sitting really pretty. I think it's almost near 1,000, which is insane. Absolutely crazy. Profar continues to do well. Definitely in line for sure if the season ended now. The comeback player of the year, 1,000%. The guy's batting over 330. But going back to the game, obviously Arias had that big RBI single where he went to left field and made it a 3-0 game. Manuel had a really good game here too. Brace for the sound. Sorry. Kind of opens up the scoring here with a double. Hits really to the deepest part of the ballpark. Really good game for Machado. He scores 2 here. Padres go up 5-0. This is in the 7th inning. And the 7th inning was the inning where we kind of really just dismantled this Arizona team. Profar ends up coming up again and takes a ball deep. God, this sound, I'm so sorry. I don't want to get copy strike. That's why I have to mute it. Hits it to, look at that, outside part of the plate again. We've seen Profar do this a couple of times so far and take it to left. Really good piece of hitting, really on top of the ball. Profar just looks phenomenal. It's hard not to be happy for the dude. Merrill also had a really good series. He actually ended up breaking out of his slump a little bit. Went 2 for 4 on this game and 2 for 4 the next. Finally starting to show some signs that he's still getting back to it. Had a little bit of a slump for like a week and a half, but some really, really good hitting for Merrill. Gets the double there, makes it 8-0. At this point, you know this shit is fucking over. But then to add the cherry on top, another guy who's been really struggling, our Korean Prince, unfortunately. But he hits a bomb here, hanging change up inside, sends it to left, barely goes over in the second row. But really cool to see from Kimmy. Had been really silent over the last couple of weeks. His average has been slipping to near the 210s, 220s. So it's really good to see him get a big hold of a ball here and take it to left and make it punish. At this point, we're up double digits, and we know this is definitely a ball game. Campusano ends up doubling, makes it 12, and then Kim ends up getting a ground out to make it 13. Unfortunately, we do allow a run in the 9th. Kolek allows the 1 run, so we end up winning this game 13-1. Just a great display from our boys. King looked really good. Want to look at him really quickly as well. Was spotting all of his pitches very well. This was another little
28-year-old.
Sorry for the noise again, super loud. Padres had 4 starters in a row that did not allow a walk, stringing back from Darvish to Musgrove to King. It was just beautiful pitching from our boys. Obviously, Cease in the middle there. I forgot to add him. But 4 starters in a row did not allow a walk. He looked sharp from the start. Want to go and look over some of his highlights really quick. Obviously, inflated ERA before the game started, but he really looked well. He didn't really ever seem to get into many problems. He looked good from the start. Picked off a guy there in the first inning, which is always a good sign whenever you're able to get a speedy guy like McCarthy who ends up burning us in Game 3. This is a really cool play here by Fernando. Gets the ball all nonchalant. Marte kind of overseats himself, and he gets thrown at first. Platinum glove, platinum arm, baby. You can't rest on Nino. I don't know what people were thinking while they're still trying to do funny business on the base pass when the ball's hit to him. He laughs it off. I have a feeling him and Marte are probably good friends or buddies off the field. But really looked good. Spotted that outside fastball right there, 92 paint. Cheese right there. Corbin Carroll looks like a fool like he's done all year. Outside pitch there. Just hitting those corners. Really good play there from Cronenworth. Holy shit. With the dive on the right side. Had some good defense behind him on this game. But overall, I feel like the Padres have been a very good defensive unit so far. But really the story of the day, obviously the offense does well, but King did even better. Did really good. Ends up going 6 innings, 6 hits, 0 walks, 3 hits. No runs allowed. Looked really sharp. Something hopefully that he can continue. Obviously, Arizona had been slumping a little bit offensively, but to see him continue to add to the slump for Arizona, can see him to consistently, you could see that he was looking a lot better. Was really, really cool to see. I'm going to play this because it gets loud. But yeah, Padres win this game 13-1. Arias breakout game. We looked really good. Can't complain about it. However, game 3 was a bit of a dud. Waldron, I think it's time to hang it up on Waldron, man. Did not look good at all. Could not command anything. His knuckleball was atrocious. Honestly, the fucking Higashioka was catching today for him, and he dropped like 4 or 5 of them. I know it's hard to catch a knuckleball. Obviously, it's very, very extremely hard. But a lot of the balls that ended up being pass balls because of it ended up the runners just going to second, going to third sometimes from runners that are only on first, and that's just a recipe for disaster. Obviously, the first inning from the very beginning, Waldron gets fucking lit up. We're down 4-0 to start the game. We do show some life, however. Merrill ends up connecting on another one. I had told you previously that he had been looking pretty good in this series. Goes 2 for 4 in both games. Really cool to see him go on this pitch here. Ends up being inside right here where my cursor's at. I'll let you watch it now. Boom! Takes the ball to right. No doubter. Probably a ball if he lays off, but really on top of it. Really good to see Merrill breaking out of it. Continuing to swing a hot bat. If he continues to do well on the bottom of the lineup, it'll be extremely crucial now if we have guys with a rise at the top. So we do fight back a little bit here. Higashioka actually gets into the mix as well. Rips a double to left. At this point, we're down 4-3. It's a new ball game. I'm like, all right, let's fucking go. But Kim was really chugging too, man. The guy really plays hard, man. I can never talk shit about him, even if he's doing really bad offensively. He's obviously a platinum. I don't say platinum, but a Gold Glover in the field. Just really cool to see him just doing what he needs to do to his full potential. But unfortunately, Waldron shits the bed. The very next inning, he allows 2 runs. And then kind of just opens up the score again for the Diamondbacks. They end up going up here 6-3. Machado does end up coming up with runners on first and third and gets a double play, but the run does score to make it 6-4. So here you're still trailing 2. So you think, it's not impossible. But I'm telling you, man, Waldron just looked like absolute shit. Ends up allowing another 4 runs here. And then Brito comes up to follow him and allows 2 runs himself. Brito also goes 3 innings, allows 5 hits, 3 earned. Obviously, with Waldron looking like shit, I think it's time to look for somebody else in the 5th spot. That was pretty much the game right here. Game was over in the 5th, probably over in the 4th, and they had scored all those runs. They end up scoring 4 in the 4th. But still registered 12 hits, something that goes a little bit unnoticed. We scored 12 hits. Wanted to check with the runners in scoring position numbers for us here. 1 for 5. So we didn't have too many people in runners in scoring position. Obviously, kind of a dud when your pitcher allows 8 runs. I think the Waldron experiment should be over. I think it's time we find someone to take his spot. I think there are plenty of people that might be able to do what he's doing or maybe even better. And I think they're in our lineup. But first, before we look at our people on the roster, I wanted to look and see if there's maybe some prospects that are available out there down on the farm that could be up for a promotion. And unfortunately, you guys, I don't like our odds of finding someone down in the system right now. Obviously, Vasquez has been called up. I will talk about that in a little bit. Vasquez gets called up. Musgrove, we'll talk about that right now. Musgrove ends up heading to the IL. From the initial thing, you see the first thing gets announced is right elbow inflammation, and my fucking balls were in my mouth. I'm like, oh my God, he needs Tommy John. We're fucking screwed. But if there is any good news with this injury, he did say in himself, they interviewed him yesterday in the clubhouse. AC, I fucking hate AC. I don't listen to AC. He's full of shit. He's a fluff writer. I don't like him, but he is one of the beat writers for the San Diego Tribune, and he is exclusively working with the team. So I get my inside information from other people saying what AC says. I don't listen to him. I think he's full of shit. I personally would have wanted to go back to school and change my entire major just that way I could become a journalist. That way this asshole could be unemployed. But enough of that. Just some strong opinions on Kevin Acee. I really don't like him. He's a fluff writing bullshit asshole. But anyways, he ends up reporting Dennis Lin to that right elbow inflammation. But Musgrove does go on later and say in the interview that if it had been later in the season, call September, somewhere in October with the playoff race, he probably would have pushed it, he said. So obviously, if you have an injury where you think you can maybe keep going, it's a good sign that he does. But obviously, as a precaution, they said he's being placed on the IL. Randy Vasquez was called up. He'll probably start game 2 in Chicago. Not good news. Obviously, things were looking really good. We had that 4-game winning streak, and then Luis Arias, like 7 heaven, everything was going really well. And then, of course, as Padre fans, we got to get brought back down to earth. We know how it is. We love torture. We know the pain all too well. But yeah, Musgrove goes to the IL. Was looking at some possible replacements for him down in the farm. And honestly, there's not much. Obviously, the Padres do have some good pitching prospects in Robbie Snelling. Obviously, their number 2 prospect overall, but unfortunately, he's still in AA. Could possibly make the move to AAA sometime this year, but I don't see him coming to the majors just yet. I think he definitely needs some more time to develop. He's only 20 years old. His projected ETA to the major leagues is 2025 still, so I don't see him coming to the line to the roster anytime soon. I think our best shot, if we did end up going down the prospect way, is to go Jackson Wolf. Wolf had previously made a start for us before against Pittsburgh, and I think he ended up going to Pittsburgh, and then he ended up getting DFA'd, and the Padres ended up picking back up again. He's in AAA, but honestly, his numbers kind of look like shit to start the season. But out of all the qualified pitchers that I think could be called up, he's probably one of them. He is 0-3 to start the year with a 4.56 ERA, so not that great of numbers from Jackson Wolf. But if I did have to find someone down the farm that they could possibly maybe pull up for the game or two, if they do decide to go the prospect way, I suspect it could be Jackson Wolf. Nobody really else. There's a few guys in AA and AAA right now, but they look like absolute dog shit. I was looking at their numbers. They don't look really good. So not much faith down there in that department right now for a starting pitcher to come up to take Musgrove's spot. So I do suspect that we'll probably end up going the route of, well, I hope the route that they end up taking is, I want to switch this really quick, is possibly going Jeremy Estrada. Estrada was called up, I think a week ago, has looked pretty good. I'm not sure if his stamina is ramped up to go starting pitching, but if the Padres do end up going for a bullpen game, I could see him trying to take majority bulk of the games. I also see Morejon. Morejon has looked really good to start the season. He obviously had that dug the other night against Cincinnati, I think it was, but had looked overall pretty good throughout the season. So I do suspect maybe Estrada or Morejon to start getting some spot starts for our boys with Musgrove on the shelf for the IL. Obviously not a timeline for his return, but being precautionary, I can suspect he's probably going to be out from anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. Granted, it's just the severity isn't anything. We hope we're not being lied to. You know how some front offices handle their injuries. But that's going to really do it for us for now. A good series win against the Snakes. I personally think that taking 2 out of 3 against a rival, you can't be mad, even if we got absolutely fucking destroyed in the last game. We were still competitive to start the game early on. We just were not able to get it through with Waldron pitching. I hope this is the end of Waldron. I don't want to see him pitching on the mound for us again, unless there's no other choice. I think there's plenty of other routes that we can go with. Obviously, maybe not so much the prospects after we were looking at it, but Morejon, Estrada, maybe even Brito, even though he didn't look very good against the Snakes today. But someone that can spot some innings. And I mean, if what you're getting from Waldron is 5 innings, 7 runs, 9-8 hits every game. These guys can probably do that same thing. So might as well trust the younger guys, try and find a different option, because I think Waldron's washed. I think he's done for. But looking forward to the next series. We fly to Chicago, 3 games against the Cubs. Start time tomorrow is 4:40. Our expected probable pitchers, Darvish goes tomorrow going against Justin Steele. Steele showed some really good stuff in the past. Was actually the runner-up for the Cy Young. Did look pretty good to start the year so far. He's 0-0, spotting at 1.95 ERA. For Tuesday, it's still TBD. I suspect it to be Vasquez because he was recalled from AAA, but it could be a combination of a bullpen game. I guess we'll wait and see. And we're going to be going against Imanaga there. He's the new Japanese pitcher that's done really, really well for the Cubs. I do have a feeling we're going to have a problem with him because he's been pitching lights-out baseball. So hopefully we can tape Game 1 of the series, maybe claw in Game 2, and hopefully try and take Game 3, where we'll have Dylan Cease on the mound against Wisniewski. Wisniewski has been called up from AAA and has looked really good in a few starts himself, and that'll be the getaway day at 11:20. That's going to do it for today, everybody. I like the series. I think we did really well. Hopefully we can find some success. This is our second straight series, so maybe go for 3. It's going to be tough against the Cubbies. The Cubbies have been playing good baseball. They seem like they have a decent team. So anytime we play decent teams, not in a division, but just closer teams that could be fighting for the wild card, really, really important. So that's going to be it for now. Stay vibrant, baby. Keep the faith. I will see everybody again on Thursday, unless something crazy happens again. Like I said, I love jumping on here talking Padres baseball. But until then, I'll see everybody later. Have a good rest of your week. You guys got this. I know it's going to suck Mondays here, but you know what? We got Padres baseball for the next 3 days, and hopefully with Luis Arias still kicking ass. I'll see everybody later. Peace out.